Hey folks, I want to give you a little talk about something that other people have asked me about, and I actually got told a story today that is exactly like every story I've heard for 25 years from Nikon. You know I love Nikon, you can call me a Nikon fanboy, I don't care. I got 3 Sonys, I don't own the mirrorless anymore. None of that's important. The important point is that Nikon representatives, I've actually taught, there's one thing that Canon is really good at that Nikon isn't. I've met a lot of Canon reps, and they actually know what they're talking about. They really do. Nikon, this is a huge failure on the part of Nikon, and it's been this way for decades. God bless Nikon, whatever. Their representatives, I don't know if they go through like a 72-hour training course, but you know, they're taught this stuff. And they're taught to believe what they're taught, and most of them are not shooters. I've actually never met a Nikon rep that was like a shooter. Okay, you know, they're out there to collect orders and they go around, but I hate to say the dumbest people. You know, I'm so sorry Nikon, but I gotta tell the truth. Every Nikon rep I've ever run into, and I've run into a lot of them, they are really, really dumb. Like, how dumb? Like, oh, really, really dumb. Just dumb. It's like, holy crap, this guy is a representative for Nikon. Oh, Jesus. You're kidding me. No, we can't be that stupid. Someone called me today, and he talked about he was at the Oklahoma Zoo, and the Nikon was set up there, and they let you have a free rental of big Nikon lenses or whatever, some big Nikon zooms and whatnot and stuff like this, and they had like some 300 2.8 set up on tripods so you could, I don't know, film the wildlife or whatever, and you turn in the gear at the end. And if you bought the gear there at the zoo, you get like a 15% discount. And this guy was mentioning me to the Nikon rep, and he bought like a 135mm 2.8 and a couple other old Nikon primes. And he was actually stating how these, and he owns a couple of the lenses that were on the table there. And he's stating that these old lenses, he had his camera with him, so he told me, these little lenses are better than these lenses because, you know, they're low element count and they're prime, which is true. And he said that the guy behind the table is a Nikon rep, about 28 years old, and he probably went through a week training course, maybe 2 weeks. And apparently after a long back and forth, no it isn't, yes it is, no, apparently the Nikon rep was just ready to bite his head off or jump across the table and punch him. This is a really soft-spoken guy. He's not aggressive, he doesn't come off of aggressive at all, but apparently he really upset the Nikon guy. See, now here's what Nikon people are taught. And this is why you've been buying all these lenses, and I've got 100% feedback on these lenses. So you're buying these old 4 and 5 element lenses made back in the mid-70s, some a little earlier, some a little later. And this is what Nikon reps are taught, and it's both extremely true and an insane stinking lie. Okay? What these Nikon reps are taught is that, well, they're high index refraction glass, which means it's thinner, there's less glass, which is true. They have better coatings. Yes, but you're talking about, you know, the difference between a banana and a plantain, basically, or a tomato and you know, a yellow tomato and a red tomato. There really is not that much difference as far as light transmission. There's not. And when it comes to nanoparticle coating, people think, oh, all the elements nanoparticle. Well, this means one side of one element out of the many elements in the lens are nanoparticle coated. So this doesn't mean that it's like some magical, oh, it's got an aspherical element. Well, that's great. That's to correct for chromatic aberration. So what these Nikon reps and all these people are taught, especially people that believe that, well, this is the latest Nikon lens, it's got to be better than the old crap from the 1970s, you know, that shit, that crap's old, it can't be. Wrong. Glass is glass is glass is glass. Doesn't matter if it has a better coating, doesn't matter if it's a thinner glass, because of high index refraction. They're always having to correct for chromatic aberration. That's why this lens has so many elements in it. It's kind of reconverge the spectrum, RGB spectrum, with flint elements. After the primary element, the flint element, and on and on and on and on. Always correcting. So light's doing this number all the way through the lens. These old Nikon lenses, okay, something that you people know, and this guy told me he almost had a fight with the Nikon rep, just an idiot. The Nikon rep was an idiot. And they're bless you Nikon, your Nikon reps are not educated. The Canon reps are so much more better educated. So much smarter. He almost had a fight with the guy because the guy's, no, this lens got a better coating and it's got ED glass and aspherical element, and that's all true. But that does not mean it's a better lens. Those old lenses, as you people know, you people who bought those 135 2.8s, you people that have bought those 100 millimeters, you've been shooting these zooms for a long time. This is an awesome zoom. I recommend it. You know, shoot it. You guys love it. But you guys shoot this stuff, and you've been shooting for years, and you report like, holy crap. Holy crap. My God, what is up with this lens? Why does it make such amazing images? This lens is almost as old as I am, sometimes older. Mid-70s, sometimes older than that, early 70s. You know, I was born in 72. I mean, some of these lenses are older than I am. And these Nikon reps and these people, they don't get it. Not only are these lenses made better, you know, there's no internal motor, they're all metal. Metal and glass, boom. Okay, plastic. Internal motors, internal vibration mechanism. Okay, great. Don't drop it. You're not going to drop any of them. You shouldn't be dropping any of them. Point is that just the glass alone, regardless of the build quality of the lens, let me check the camera really quick. Regardless of the build quality of the lens, these older primes with the 3, 4, 5 elements are superior. I've been telling you about renditional distortion. These lenses butcher the light. They do. You can't argue with these people. I said the guy almost got in a fight with the Nikon rep at the Oklahoma Zoo. Oklahoma City's, I've never been to Oklahoma City. But these Nikon reps are brainwashed. They're not smart to begin with. I mean, they're not. I really never met a Nikon shooter that was a Nikon rep that was a shooter. There might be. I'm sure there's some that are. But they're correct. You know, the newer lenses have superior coating. It's got high index refraction, thinner glass. Okay, better for chromatic aberration. Big deal, you can take care of that in Photoshop. Some of them are. I proved to you in a prior video that $200 135mm f2.8, $200 is sharper than the 1400. I've got both lenses. Sharper than the 135mm f2 DC Nikkor. Now the f2 DC Nikkor is a hair faster, big deal. 2.8 versus 2, who cares, right? Yes, it has the defocus control, which is really a BS feature. They call it bokeh control. I mean, it's not drastic at all. It's a very expensive, well-made lens in Japan. We're talking about $200 versus $1,400, okay? Yes, better coatings, high index refraction glass, some aspherical elements. It's nonsense. You people know better. You people that bought these old lenses, and you realize that you save yourself a crap load of money. Okay, this is stuff that even the Nikon reps, they don't even know this crap. And that is why people are pissing and moaning at me. There's one webpage where that use this old Nikkor glass. They know how freaking awesome it is. It's like a secret. And they said, oh, there's this fat tattooed a-hole that's talking about this old glass, and now the prices have skyrocketed. Screw him. You know, he's like, let the cat out of the bag. Yeah, I'm trying to help people and actually save them money. It's just so funny. I mean, I run into so many Nikon. I don't know why Nikon is so insistent. Maybe they just don't pay them enough. That Nikon reps are just so... they're not smart. They're not smart people at all. I've met a lot of them. And Nikon, this is some place where you really fail. And especially when you show up to demo stuff, you need smarter people. And no, I'm not hooking for a job as a Nikon rep. I wouldn't want that job. God, no. Traveling around all over the place, living at a crappy motel so you can go to camera stores? No. I know what they do. Their job is pretty crappy. But just pay them more. And train them better, okay? Obviously, Nikon ain't making no money off the lenses that were sold 30 years ago. So that's a major point. Obviously, Nikon wants to put... Canon does this too. I mean, they all do it. They don't want to be pushing stuff that was already sold ages ago. Who would? Perfectly logical, right? How are we going to make any money, you know, telling people that those old lenses from the 1970s on eBay are better than our $1,400 lenses? Okay? Lenses really haven't changed that drastically in 30 years. They haven't. They've gotten a lot more fragile. They got a lot more parts and a lot more plastic. Okay? You can say whatever you want about Ken Rockwell. Okay? One thing he's got right, okay, he loves those older lenses, and so do I. Okay? It's just, there's a reason for it. He does do a lot of reviews that are stuff, well, I won't get into that. But, you know, I'm in complete agreement with him on that specific point. You know, Nikon still makes lenses like that, like the 50mm f1.2. But don't be misled. Like, these Nikon reps are brainwashed. They've got the facts. You know, better air coating, aspherical elements, nanoparticle coating, faster autofocus. You know, who cares? You know, manual focus versus autofocus. You people need to slow the hell down anyway. Everybody's out there and's got their camera on continuous high. Click, 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 click. And, you know, you'll choose one shot out of 100. You're spraying and praying. You're not thinking about composition. Like, you know, you're not looking for the light. Oh my God, there's something pretty. Click, 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 click. Slow the hell down. How about improving your photography? Snipers are taught this in sniper school. First they develop the skills, and then they develop the speed. The problem with this stuff is that you guys start with the speed and you never develop the skills. This is why a lot of you need a manual focus. I don't want a manual focus the lens. So what? How about improving your photography? Stick a manual focus lens on your damn camera that can shoot 9 frames per second and compose. Develop the speed later, and it will come. This happens to shooters like Jerry Mikulik, the fastest person in the world. I mean, he developed his skills very slowly. And now he's got the skills and the speed. First he developed the skills. He can actually shoot 6 shots out of a revolver, open that cylinder up, empty the casings, reload, fire 6 more shots, all of that in 2.999 seconds. It's a world record, and you can see the video on YouTube if you want. So I think you got my point. I'm certain that I've talked too much in this video, but I was just checking the camera time again. But don't fall for the lies and nonsense. You people that own these lenses, and you're countless of you, you know, I haven't heard a peep back from you other than, you know, some seller, very few of you, like some seller screwed you with a lens that was broken, but that had nothing to do with the lens, that just had to do with a crappy seller. So now you know. That doesn't make Nikon any money, but I'm not being paid by Nikon. I'm more interested in getting you the right lenses that, you know, 1 lens versus 4 lenses that are superior. So that's awesome. That makes me happy, but this is half a rant about Nikon. Nikon, your representatives, you need more training. And the fact that one of them wanted to jump across the table and have a fight with a customer, who was right, by the way. Both of them were right. The customer that called me, that was talking about like the 5-element 135mm 2.8 is superior. It is superior. Not only is it built better, it'll last longer, it is superior. Take a better picture. Less glass. It's not only a prime, it's a prime with a lot fewer elements. Nanoparticle coating and improvements in aspherical elements and high index refraction and nanoparticle coating, that accounts for so little you don't even know it. It accounts for very, very little. Shooting in shooting in direct light, you know, a slightly better light transmission, yeah, it's there, but it is nowhere near as much as you think it is. I mean, it really isn't, okay? A 2.8 lens is a 2.8 lens. You got to correct for just a hair of chromatic aberration, so what? What those 4 and 5 and 3 element lenses spit out is nothing short of pure gold. It's like you pump light in the front of those prime lenses and they just poop out honey, butter, and silk. You know it, and I know it. Nikon representatives don't know that. Oh, that's an old lens. That's no good. You know better. Anyway, thanks for watching. I'll catch you later, okay?